After the last episode dedicated to Mongo, we are still in Indonesia, but this time we are in the Sumatra island. Like everybody knows, here there is a huge quantity of cocoa that industrial companies take for their production. But not all is going there, so that something is changing, and in this episode we can see a part of it. Yes, we are ready to meet one of the first from treetobar of Indonesia. She is a young woman that started with her own company of craft chocolate. Her name is Priscilla Partana. The family of Priscilla is one of the biggest exporters of cocoa from Indonesia, but she started with her new company to make treetobar, educating and involving the best farmers that for a long time were working with the family company. In this way she helps and pay better the job of the farmers, but start to educate also the Indonesians to know the differences from compound to industrial chocolate, finally to the craft one. Hello guys, welcome back to Chocozone podcast. We are still in Indonesia, and like we just said, there is a big quantity of cocoa there, but no agreed knowledge for chocolate, and the cocoa is only for the big industry. But something is starting to change. Here we have one of the first from treetobar in Indonesia, in Sumatra, a company managed from a woman, and this is another special thing to say. So now I introduce Priscilla Partana, the owner of Lele Chocolate. Hello, Priscilla.
Hello, Priscilla. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Fine.
Thank you.
You are from Sumatra in Padang, if I remember well the name of your city.
Yeah.
Normally, we ask to our guests to introduce themselves, so we have to do the same with you. I know you have been in Europe for a long time, but it is better that you start to say about you. So it's your time.
Okay.
My name is Priscilla and I'm from Indonesia. I live and this is where I make chocolate in West Sumatra, a city called Padang. I went abroad to study in England for 5 years, business management, and then after that I continued to study in Paris, and that's where I pick up everything about chocolate. So, but that's basically the art of making chocolate. I learned it from the French artisan.
Okay. Can you tell something more about your background in chocolate? I mean, how do you start it? Did you start it in a chocolate shop with a chocolatier?
When I was in Paris, I worked in a pastry shop, but the pastry shop also specialized in chocolate. So they have a chocolaterie, and that's where I learned how to make bonbon. I make how to make tablet, how to combine different ingredients to make praline, all those things. That's where I learned in Paris in a small pastry shop in the fifth arrondissement in Paris. And then and then I came home to Padang, to Sumatra, and that's where I started to learn how to make chocolate from the bean. So
Yeah.
it's basically trial and error. So I learned how to make the final product first in Paris, and then from that, and then I go back to how to make it from scratch from the bean.
Yeah, and please tell us something about your background about this, about the bean to bar process and the cocoa and farmers. Where do you get cocoa beans, and what is the business of your family that I think has helped you in this new adventure for your career?
So I also had an opportunity to learn about the cacao industry from my family. So my dad, my parents, is they're a cacao exporter. So basically, in West Sumatra, in Indonesia, we're known to export cocoa bean to all over the world, to Europe, everywhere, all around the world. But the quality of the bean that are being exported are the non-fermented. So it's basically the bulk bean, the low quality one that's usually used to supply to the big industrial company, chocolate company. But when I got back and I saw the opportunity to increase the quality, how I can help the farmer to work together so that I can increase the quality of the cocoa bean, so that eventually we can make chocolate, fine quality chocolate, not just the low quality one.
Yeah. And what is the difference that the tree-to-bar chocolate could give to farmers compared to big industry? Explain to us this point of view. It is interesting.
So basically, it comes down to flavor. Basically, it all comes down to flavor. What treetobar are trying to do is to increase the aromatic profile of the bean itself. Normally, industrial production, you see the big chocolate company, what they wanted is consistency. So they wanted chocolate to taste the same all year round. But then chocolate is made from cocoa bean. This is an agriculture product which change according to season. So cocoa bean from one season will have different flavor to cocoa bean from another season. Also, origin where the cocoa bean is planted, is where it is harvested, is also has an effect on the flavor. So that's the difference on the tree-tuber chocolate compared to industrial, the aromatic profile.
So, in your production, in your process, how do you make your chocolate, and which are the aroma and the flavor that are typical from the Indonesian bean that you want to keep, that you want to develop? Can you tell us something about your production?
So here my work in Sumatra is quite long. It's quite labor intensive, because the reason why I'm tree tuber, not because I wanted to be a tree tuber, it's because it's a necessity. I don't have a choice, because the quality of the cocoa bean is also depend on the clone, the what do you call it, the clones of the trees. So basically, in Sumatra, the clones that are used are normally the one that produce high yield. They produce a lot of bean, but maybe has kind of like less of an aromatic profile. They are kind of bland. So even though I increase maybe I tweak on the roasting profile, or I don't know, like I use good machine. It doesn't matter, because the quality itself is not good enough for me to have that aromatic profile that I'm looking for. So now my work through Little Chocolate is basically to find this ancient so-called heirloom type of clones that are maybe the Criollo. We don't really have Criollo in Indonesia. It's more kind of like a Trinitario.
Okay.
So Trinitario also gives us aromatic profile, maybe not as delicate as Criollo, but that's also one of the uniqueness of Indonesian cacao beans, is that we have a strong, robust chocolate flavor. And when that is combined with a fermentation protocol, the post-harvest process, we could have a little bit of maybe fruitiness. Okay. Flour is not really our zone, so it's more a very strong, robust chocolate flavor with a little bit balance of maybe dark berry note, like the dark berry note at the end. That's what I can find from my region, from Sumatra.
Sumatra. And where do you sell the chocolate? Just locally, or can you export in different countries?
Yeah, Little Chocolate is new. I've only just launched for the past 1.5 years. But last week we did our first shipment to London.
Ah,
We've
great.
already exported to London, and then within the next month or two, we're going to export to Dubai too. So at the moment our market share is the Indonesian market, but then we're slowly getting into the international one as well.
Okay, so you talk about the how under a production point of view you develop the aromas and the flavors, but as consumers in many parts of the world we are used to something different. It is the commercial chocolate. Okay, so how do you find which is the best way up to you to educate the consumer to this different kind of chocolate that we are not used to?
So one of the ways through Lil Chocolate, one of the ways that I try to educate my local customer is through education. So in my factory, I have a museum as well. So I do an open factory tour and a museum, and then I also do a workshop class, an educational chocolate tasting class that is suitable from maybe children from the primary school up toward the university level, all kind of education. That's where I try to educate my customer basically about the difference between craft chocolate and industrial chocolate, and also I try to educate my customer about the origin of my produce, where the chocolate come from, the hard labor that are being put by our farmer, and then where you can make a difference. I try to encourage my customer to take part into this chocolate industry. As sure we are the end of the supply chain, but we are also responsible, and we also would like to know what's going on in our supply chain. So I think education is the key.
Yeah, in which way, just a little bit back about the farmers, in which way you created the relationship with the farmers? So, if you find a good supplier, but it is easy, but if you find a supplier that could have some little tricks to develop, you do by yourselves, or in which way you create the how to say the standard for you from the farmers?
So basically, I have an organization. It's an NGO, basically, and a non-profit organization called Foundation Rumah Coklat. So that's where I partner up with local government, and that's where we do empowerment for our cacao farmers. So basically that. So in Sumatra, we are known as one of the biggest producer of cocoa bean. So basically, it's everywhere. All the farmer is everywhere. So it's kind of easy for me to just go to the local government and say, hey, I'm trying to develop a specific cocoa bean for this local market. Maybe is it organic, or maybe it's something like I'm trying to make a more fruitier kind of chocolate. Maybe we can partner up in terms of fermentation process. So I tell them what to do, and then basically I give them information through this foundation. I give them information, and then the local government is the one who will partner up with the farmers, and then to basically do the day-to-day operation.
Yeah, you export the cocoa beans with your family company, and in which way you choose the beans that you want to keep and the beans that you can export to the big industry, just to understand in which way, little tricks if you could say to us.
So basically now 90% of cocoa bean from West Sumatra, from my island, I still export it through my family, through the bulk industrial product.
Yeah.
So I've only just started, and I'm only taking maybe just less than 5%, because I think not every farmer are ready to go into the fine specialty cacao bean grade. It takes it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of. They have to be willing to do it. Also, at the beginning, you also need a lot of money investment at the beginning, investment in terms of money and time also. So I think now I pick and choose my farmers basically gitu. The one that I think are ready to go into the next level of education. If they are not ready, if they are happy to be just selling their raw bulk cacao bean, then it's fine. It's fine, you know. I mean, craft chocolate, fine chocolate is not a big industry. It's quite a niche. You have a really small customer. I'm not saying we don't have a market. We have a market, but it's a very specific and quite small one. So it's just reserved for the farmers who are willing to do the hard work.
So also this is a difference between the industrial company and the artisan company of chocolate. So you follow, you see, you choose, and you could also give an help to develop the standard and also the standard of the cocoa, the standard of the life of some farmers, and the big company are not so care about it, I think. Or there are also other differences between industrial and artisans, chocolate makers.
Chocolate company. It's not that they don't care or they don't want to, but maybe because they don't have the right means to do it, because most of the chocolate processing company are very far away from the producer. You know, they are very far away from the farm. So there's a big gap between this producer, the one who planted the tree, and the one who manufactured the chocolate. So I think that's where the miscommunication happened. But for us, I'm here, you know, like I can just go to my farmers maybe like an hour, 2 hours outside of time. I can go and hey, what's up with you? What's happening with your bean? Why is your bean not doing so well? Blah 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 blah. Because I'm here. That's also another different from me, from another chocolate company, also from another crafter, because I'm here. I produce my chocolate at origin, so that's I can have more engagement with the producer of my bean, basically.
Yeah. Do you give indication to the farmers on some of the processes, for example, fermentation? Maybe you want something specific that you like for your chocolate, or you completely trust in them and leave them choosing any kind of the process?
Regarding fermentation, because it's still a new thing,
Okay.
it's quite new for Indonesia. I mean, we've been trying to develop a fermentation protocol for so long, but then it didn't work. Like it's even there's a law saying that all cocoa bean coming out of Indonesia must be fermented, but nobody does it basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So at the moment, I'm working with one plantation that can do their own fermentation. So they've been doing their own fermentation for years. You know, they know the protocol better than me. So I let them do it. But there's also another farmer from another region who's never done it before. So basically, that one I tell them what to do. So basically, we have through my organization, I also have a school. So basically, through this school, I teach my farmer on how to do pruning, how to prune their trees, how to ferment their cocoa bean, the fermentation protocol. It's also very specific. It depends on the clone. It depends on the weather. It depends on what you are trying to achieve. So with some. Normally we're working with a group of farmers, so it is a cooperation, you know. Normally I work with the cooperation. This cooperation will be registered through my organization. They will be monitored by me and also by the local government according to the standard operation.
You started your knowledge from the end of the process and then went back to the beans, as we did for the machine. We started from the tempering machine, then we went back, conching, refining, and so on. Are you planning to make only bars, chocolate bars, or are you planning to develop also pralines? Which are the next product that you are going to create?
I at the moment I'm still going to focus on the bars because I'm trying to develop more on in terms of the single origin. At the moment I'm still single origin Sumatra. What I'm trying to do more is going deeper, maybe single estate, according to different region in West Sumatra. That's why I'm trying to develop. At the moment we do the 75-gram bars like this.
Okay.
But I also have new thing. This is the minis, the small.
Napolitans. Yeah, like
Okay. How many grams?
This is the 5 grams. This is what I'm trying to develop also. This is also happening because of the new machine, my new vertical
Cooling
tunnel. Yeah, that one. That one makes my job a lot less harder.
Great.
It's less easy.
I see. And pralines?
Maybe I'm gonna go into praline, but then the problem in Indonesia because of the weather, praline is quite small in terms of how to transport it because we're in West Sumatra. Transportation is quite difficult. We don't really have the cold chain, everything. People are not really good at handling small, delicate items, and so praline is maybe something I'm going to do in the future, maybe, but not in the near future. I'm going to stay in something that quite compact and then can be transported easily.
Yeah. Indonesian has many area in the world. They are more consumer of cocoa drinks or compound bars and things like that. You are one of the very first started a treetobar chocolate. What do you think will help to improve this market, this new kind of approach in chocolate? I mean, using the bean to make it improve in your area, in Indonesia. There is something. Do you think they could make a higher quantity? I mean, much more chocolate than compound.
So in Indonesia, we don't have the culture of eating chocolate, good chocolate, basically. It's quite sad because we Indonesian people are so used to the taste of the compound. That's all they know, basically. I grew up with compound chocolate. When I first taste couverture chocolate or the real chocolate, so I can't really blame the Indonesian market for choosing the compound. But what I'm trying to do from my experience, what works in Indonesia is to go through, cakes, like pastry, drink. So that's what I'm trying to develop in Little Chocolate. So in Little Chocolate, I also have a cafe and a bakery. So that's where I develop chocolate to be not just chocolate bar but also cakes, because that's where my specialty. I train in Paris as a pastry chef, so I develop chocolate as a dessert, basically as anything to do with dessert. I can make it with chocolate, basically. That's what the concept of my cafe is, everything about chocolate. So I can make everything with chocolate, drinks, beverages, everything. And then I also develop a product to the for the hotel, restaurant, and cafes industry. That's through the couverture blocks.
Yeah. I know that you also started with a new shop 1 week ago. What about it?
So I just opened my second outlet in the airport, at the international airport of Padang. So because I'm trying to market my product as a gift, something you carry that is unique to the Sumatra, that is unique to this West Sumatra island. That's what I'm trying to to be.
Yeah. So we are quite finished. The last question we do to anyone is, how do you see your company in 2030, and how do you see the bean to bar and the tree to bar movement within the next 10 years?
I think the only way is up from now, because I've heard positive reviews from my customer, and also all of the local governments I work with, all the organization I'm working with, all welcome me with an open arm. Basically, everybody wants to collaborate with me. Everybody wants to work with me these days.
Yeah.
I think it's going. I think the future for bean to bar, tree to bar, and also the future for craft chocolate is going to get better in Indonesia and also in around the world. So for me personally, next year I'm going to try for the International Chocolate Award. I think I wanted to do it before, but I thought I wasn't ready. But I think now is the right time. I'm at the position where I would like to bring my Sumatra chocolate. I would like to for people to get to know more about Sumatra chocolate in the international level, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really positive to do it. So Priscilla, we thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And for all your explanations. And we will see soon. We are sure about it.
We hope we can meet again soon.
I will welcome you here.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. See you. Bye.